Okay, everyone, welcome back to the Monday Market Wrap-Up with myself, Michael Nauss from StatsEdgeTrading. As always, if you want this emailed to you, just go to StatsEdgeTrading.com, sign up for the email list there. You get the video, you get all the screenshots of the charts, and then you get actual watch lists that you can just copy and paste. It's got all kinds of notes and cool stuff. Now, without further ado, trying to make these quicker. Let's get in. Let's take a look at some currency names first, starting with Bitcoin. Not really giving me too much action on this longer term chart, but it is showing me that it might be time to focus maybe on a 4-hour or a 1-hour. You can see the really long base that's kind of coming in here. See if we can get a breakdown of this on some volume, on some sort of, oomph. We might get a push lower in Bitcoin, right? A lot of things just kind of got broken here. Yes, it's Bitcoin, so it could just rebound and everything could be fine. But, it's not looking that way right now. Also, if we go to Aussie Yen's an interesting look right now. If we kind of let's draw this a little bit better. These highs back here, they're also starting to act as support here, and we're getting a little bit of a push off here. So we have this downtrending channel, or at least downtrend line, that I'm looking to see if it can kind of get over here, and maybe I can work myself into a short on a long on a shorter term time frame first. Then that's interesting. If we can just break up over this range and get going, that's interesting on Aussie yen. So then we have pound dollar here, also known as cable. Talked about this last week and for a while, just saying, hey, so far we're bouncing off this zone. So I did get in a short today based off a setup on the 1-hour chart. So we'll see if we can get a little bit of a push off of this zone. That's what I'm looking for on that. And then we talked about silver. So basically we went in, we said gold. Gold broke this anchored VWAP from this major low and just didn't really look back. And then silver, however, was touching that. So I got in some of this trade today on a shorter term time frame. So far, it's working out fantastically. Again, if we can get to these highs, that will be an amazing risk reward. And this is how I want to kind of focus on how I structure my trade, right? So I'm in from about this area. My stop is right here. So if we get back up to highs, you're talking 7 times my risk. So that means, if I'm right 1 out of every 7 times, I'll just be, fine. But it's showing the point that risk reward, right? Picking your spot, having a reason for the trade, that's all that matters, and that's really what I'm focused on. SPY, nice little bounce today, but SPY, not PY. SPY, basically a nice little move yesterday, a nice little move on today and on Friday. Again, if you missed the weekend videos, I go into much more detail there. And again, if you missed them, just sign up for the Substack and they'll be emailed directly to you. But basically, we're just in the middle of this range right here. So we have this low right here. We have these highs right here. We're kind of hanging out in this zone. So if we chop around for a period of time, that makes sense. Now, I'm not super excited just to go back buying with 2 fists because there was a lot of damage done here. But really, if you zoom out to the longer term time frame, we're not really it wasn't that bad compared on what we just been through. So, I'm not excited to really buy. I wouldn't really short here. So it's kind of wait, take a trade here or there. I'm fairly light in my portfolio right now. I'll go over some of the shots that I took today that are working out pretty well, but just picking my point, just like we talked about with silver, picking my point, taking my shot, doing it small. When the market, puts in a base or a higher low or something to really get me excited, that's when I'll put my foot on the gas a little bit. We have uranium. So uranium from a closing basis is breaking out of this range, right? So last time it was up here, it wicked and then sold off, and then it wicked and sold off. We are 4 minutes to the close, and it is holding up in this range. So it's a nice little breakout in uranium, which actually is why, if we look at this one right here, got triggered today in CCJ. So CCJ just went right through here. I kind of saw it just because I was at my computer earlier in the day and it gapped up. It had sold off just a little tiny bit and then rallied. So I bought a little bit as it went from that red to green off the open. I mostly trade on the close, but if I'm here and I see something, I'm definitely going to take it. Great kind of play for CCJ. I hope it's only getting started. A couple other trades that there's one more that I took. Oh, this NTNX. NTNX right here, it kind of sold off a little bit later in the day, so not really interested in that. I'm basically in from this price. This one I did wait for the close on, just because it didn't, in the morning, it didn't break this area. So it is rejecting where it rejected these wicks before, which is not ideal. But if we can get a kind of push up from there, I like the look of that one. So let's go through the list. Again, I don't go through everything on the list, but I want to go through some things on the list. Anything new that I add, I put through on the list. And there's a couple names here. One is Kaba. I think there's 3 new that I put through here. So Kaba is a 15% short float stock and basing up near highs. Now let's go to the weekly chart and you can see why Kaba is actually insane. This thing went from 55 cents to $13, and you can see how long it's been kind of digesting this prior high right here. So that is just an insane move in and of itself. And the fact that there's a lot of people short up here betting for it to return back down makes me think that if they're wrong, those shorts are going to have to run for the door relatively quickly. We have PWR, which is a bit more of a calm one. This one's just kind of basing right at highs here. Again, just another monster from 160 to 200, basing right at highs here. And then last but not least, Mattel, MAT, the news with their movie that did so well. But big push up on expectancy of that movie. And now it's been kind of pulling back in this flag. I like when people forget about events. So you get an event, you get the first move, and then everyone forgets about it. It comes up on these scanners that we're building in Trade Ideas, and then it gets another move off of there. So, all right, guys, that is it for today. I will see you tomorrow. Trade safe, like, subscribe, share around. I appreciate all that. Talk to you soon.